I don't care how we get the 3 points, as long as we get the 3 points. Yes, I will take them that shamelessly. Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. Chelsea hosted West Ham at Stamford Bridge today in the Premier League fixture. We have been diabolical domestically, so we have desperately needed this win, and we did get the win against our London rivals. I do not care how we got it. We got it over the line in the end. But before we get into the content, make sure you do these things for me. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are new, leave your thoughts down there in the comments, and also as well smash that notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out or when we're about to go live. So let's discuss today's game, and we're going to start off with the lineups, and as usual I have got them on either side. You get me, one there and one there. So if you haven't seen them, please take a moment to have a look at this beautiful piece of artwork that I have made for you lot. There are some talking points as well in this lineup here. No Kai Havertz, no Jorginho, no Mason Mount, and a debut start for Wesley Fofana, our new signing. We got to take our first look at him, and that's also something that we are going to discuss. But let's get into it, man. The first half was an absolute snooze fest. It was boring as hell. We lacked so much creativity, and it just shows that there's so much work that still needs to be done in this whole Chelsea team, man. That midfield desperately still needs addressing. Speaking of midfield, Ruben Loftus-Cheek was the number 6 today. He was sitting the deepest in that midfield, sitting at that base of that midfield, if you'd like to put it that way. I thought, to be honest with you, he was a little uninspiring, but who was today in the team? Who was inspiring in the team? Who was making passes that were breaking West Ham lines? We were very frustrated by the way that they shaped up. 10 men behind the ball. They looked to frustrate. They knew Chelsea, that is one of our huge weak points. We do struggle to break down teams. We do struggle to get in behind. And David Moyes, that entire half, their plan went to perfection. I don't care what anybody tells me. David Moyes had said to them, stifle those boys. Keep 10 men behind the ball. Look for the opportunity to counter and take it. If we get a set piece, take that opportunity, because that is where Chelsea are vulnerable. First half was a bit of a non-event. It was kind of hard to stay awake, actually. A lot of sideways passing, man. I wasn't a fan of the front two, I'm not going to lie. Sterling and Pulisic. I thought if it should have been a front two, should have been Armando Broja. I thought he gave a very good account of himself every time he's come on so far this season. So to start Pulisic ahead of him, for me, was a little strange. But we did get to see Broja later on in the game anyway. But the first half, we did get a lot of set pieces from West Ham, but they didn't really mind us having all those corners. I believe it was like 8 or 9 corners by the time the first half was finished for Chelsea, and West Ham had none. But they were comfortable, like I said, aerially they're dominant, and we also let ourselves down in terms of the quality of the corners that we're putting in, particularly the left-footed in-swinger, aka Cucurella, who couldn't really beat the first man, and he's definitely got to make improvements, because the left wing back behind him looks to be saying, hold on a minute, people, do not forget about me. This guy has not come here to take my place. If he wants to come and play left wing back, he has got to fight. Ben Chilwell came on the pitch today and absolutely changed the game, but we are going to come on to that one in a little bit as well. But I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't really too much of a fan of the shape. Our midfield felt very imbalanced as usual. Square pegs in round hole situation. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is not a sitting midfielder. Conor Gallagher, I don't think, done well in terms of being involved in the build-up play. I do still think he's a lot better playing advanced, but even there, I thought he kept it too safe, was too basic, scared to lose the ball, wasn't really trying to make line-breaking passes, sorry. And one of his best attributes as well, which is running in late into the box and, you know, really testing the goalkeeper. So we didn't see enough of that from Conor Gallagher today. I think he did struggle today, man. Tuchel's got to find a better way to use him in the system if he's going to insist on using the player. In terms of chance creation, throughout this whole game, really and truly, Reece James was the only one that was really trying something on that right side, you know, putting in crosses whenever he could. But West Ham, with their aerial dominance, they were just headering them away. A couple of low crosses that he tried to find, trying to get ball to feet to Raheem Sterling or to Christian Pulisic, who often find themselves isolated, man. They had no options around them, so they were losing the ball quite a bit. Felt quite sorry for Raheem Sterling, to be honest with you. It was clearly a formation that I do not like to mess with, man. I do not like us, you know, playing in that 3-5-2. The few times that we've seen it has not been great, and today certainly showed why we should probably put that on the shelf. Which brings me to the question, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Yes, we do know we've signed Obama blood clot, yang. Yeah, and all of that stuff. But where is he going to get these opportunities from if we are not creating consistently enough? If our one creative outlet in Reece James gets pinned or marked out of the game, where is the creative flow coming from? This is why I'm saying Aubameyang, okay, cool. That means he's come to the club, but is it the be-all and end-all for me? No, because there's bigger problems that we have to fix around that for him to become the most effective Aubameyang that we can get at Chelsea Football Club. And based off today, we desperately like creativity, especially that first half, man. Completely uninspiring stuff, I'm not gonna lie to you. Build up play again, way too slow. Bringing that ball out from the defence, way too slow. Allowing our opposition to recoup, get back into position, get 10 men behind the ball. It was just all too predictable, man. Another thing that I will say is, yes, I know our emphasis in our game is on our wing backs, but sometimes try and play centrally. We should be trying to play centrally. We should try and switch it up a little bit instead of being so predictable, man. I do understand, like I said, our wing backs are a huge part of our play, but like I said, we have to switch it up. Movement has to be better centrally. We've got to be trying to play off the shoulder of the defenders instead of sitting in front of the defenders all the time, because teams have sussed us. Teams have sussed us. Put 10 men behind the ball, try and get them on the counter. If not that, we're going to get them on set pieces. But first half was, listen, it was a complete snooze fest, man. Complete ball fest from both teams. But I will honestly say David Moyes must have come away from that the most happy. Second half, diametric opposites. Huge change in the game, I'm not gonna lie. Couple of changes were made, but we're gonna start off with West Ham coming out of the blocks, kind of flying, really taking the game to us, pushing their line up a little bit higher, which I feel also opened up the game for us too. The first half was really about trying to weather whatever storm we were going to take to them, but second half they were definitely looking to come out with the result. Mikel Antonio, the goal scorer in this second half. Should he have been on the pitch? In my opinion, absolutely not. 54 minutes in, he does get booked for, you know, him and Reece James, they do get booked together because they do come stand up and square off with each other, you get me? They're squaring up to each other. A lot of testosterone, a lot of machismo going on there, you get me? After Antonio's foul on Reece James did kick out, so I'm not really complaining about either one of their yellow cards. But not that long later on, a long ball's come in, Thiago Silva has read it and he's gone tight on Mikel Antonio, but you can clearly see Antonio's arm come up, put Thiago Silva basically in a headlock and just rasp him down to the floor, just drapes him to the floor. It was a clear second yellow card offence, but he was able to walk away with that scot-free. And lo and behold, not long after that incident, West Ham, I believe, get their first or second corner of the game where we do concede. And guess who puts the ball in the back of the net for West Ham? You guessed it, man like Mikel Antonio, and it was absolute shambolic defending. Chelsea cannot defend the set piece for shit. We are terrible at set piece defending. Edouard Mendy again with a howler. Edouard just literally flapped at the ball, pushed the ball right into the path of the West Ham player where the opportunity was created. As a 6'4" goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy, you should be getting to these with confidence. If you are going to touch the ball, punch the ball, whatever, make sure it gets distance, or you hit it out of play, or you get it to a Chelsea, to a blue shirt. You don't parry out to the opposition team. You never do that. So very disappointing from Edouard Mendy, in my opinion. Consecutive mistakes. They are starting to build up a bit more frequently. Our questions going to need to be asked come the January, possibly even summer transfer window, about that goalkeeping position. Right now, I'm not going to lie to you, Mendy is too error prone, and bringing in Kepa for me still presents a risk, because he might have a first, a couple 1-2 good games, and then after that might all be business as usual, you get me? So I'm not too convinced he's using Kepa as that backup. But West Ham, they do score 1-0 up, and at this point in time, I do feel like dejected. We are not really known from coming back from behind. I'm thinking second loss in a row for the first time in Thomas Tuchel's career. He's never lost consecutive games in the Premier League, but I thought we were staring down the barrel of that. Tuchel makes a huge tactical change in terms of personnel as well. Cucurella off, for Ben Chilwell, which proved to be the match-winning change. Kai Havertz also comes on as well, as does Mason Mount, and it shows that 2 out of those 3 substitutions were huge game changers. And that one that I'm going to mention, obviously you lot know, Ben Chilwell. What a cameo that he made when he came in. Completely changed the game. Yo, I know we've signed Cucurella for over 60 million and he is a top left wing back / left back. But don't forget about me, guys. The quality is still there. And based off that cameo, I think Chilwell needs to be considered as the starting left wing back. Now, the competition there is so strong, but Chilwell, the way he came in, I felt it was a lot more balanced in the team when he joined in. I feel he's a lot more brave with his attacking runs as well. Something that I feel, you know, that he's got naturally alongside what Marcos Alonso had. I think he's going to continue on that trend in terms of getting a lot of goals from that position. And we saw that today. Ball from the back of the defence from Thiago Silva. Good long ball. Puts it into the box. Ben Chilwell is tight on the defender. And he does well, actually. A huge bit of luck, man. Huge bit of fortune for the ball to fall the way it did for Ben Chilwell. Literally on the byline. Able to nutmeg Fabianski from there. 1-1. I don't care how the goal comes. I will take it shamelessly. You get me? 1-1 at that point. Passing, the tempo of the game from Chelsea is a lot more quicker, a lot more crisp. A lot more 1-2s being played as well. Successfully this time, because we did see, you know, a lot of 1-2s not really making their player, or a lot of runs that were not being rewarded. But in this period of the game, you could really see that Chelsea did come alive, and those changes did make the difference. And Mr. Ben Chilwell as well, involved yet again in the second goal, this time from that left side. Drills in a lovely, low, beautiful cross for Kai Havertz, who has still got a lot of work to do. Gets in front of his defender, first time finish, puts it in the back of the net. 2-1. At this point, you're thinking 88 minutes gone. Kai Havertz has come clutch yet again, but wrong. There is still room for more drama. Literally off the restart, man. Absolute shambolic dealings in our own box. Edouard Mendy again with some questionable goalkeeping. Fortunately for him and us as fans, VAR came to the rescue for Chelsea Football Club, because in my opinion, I don't think it was a foul. I think it was a follow through from Bowen that he could do nothing about, and by that point, Mendy had already parried the ball out. So we got very lucky for that to not be 2-2, to not be the equaliser. But massive wake-up call there, man. Cornet putting that ball in the back of the net to remind us that our concentration levels are still poor. Why is it that when we score, we concede immediately straight afterwards? Shows poor level of concentration, poor level of defending and positioning, poor communication altogether. I understand we've lost a lot of personnel back there. Rudiger, huge leader. Christensen also has left the club. You know, we've definitely got to improve there. I'm willing to give it time as the season goes on. I do think that we are going to get it right, but fortunately enough for us, it was adjudged a foul on Edouard Mendy, and we did get away with one. So look, my thing about this game, I've got some comments obviously from the lineups. I didn't like the fact that Raheem Sterling was paired with Christian Pulisic. I felt that Breuer had done enough, showcased himself enough to show that he was good enough to start today. Loftus-Cheek, as we know, is not a natural DM. Sitting at that base of that midfield, he was always going to struggle, and I thought that he did do today. But I don't think anybody really shone, and there was not really a creative outlet, like I said, except from Reece James. I thought Wesley Fofana, I thought he'd done decent on his debut. Looked very confident in terms of carrying the ball forward, also engaging up high the field and winning challenges up high the field as well. Recovering back well. But, you know, he's still a young player. There's still deficiencies in his game that he needs to iron out. It's not the best 3 points. Certainly not the most charming 3 points you'll ever see Chelsea get. But for me, I'm going to take it. The form that we've been in has been absolutely shit. It's been poor. It's been pathetic. And it was no difference today. But this time, we were able to get the luck. Some karma from what happened to us against Tottenham. Now, I know what has West Ham got to do with it. Sorry that they had to be the victims, but I couldn't care less. I am taking those 3 points back home with us. It's 3 desperate points that we needed for this Premier League season, because, like I said, it wasn't looking good. But listen, Tuchel got the tactical changes right in the second half, so have to give him a shout out for that. Kai Havertz and Ben Chilwell proved to be the two game changers in the game. So big up the gaffer for that. But people, man, let me know your thoughts on today's game, man. Do you think that we should be going forward with the 3-5-2? Would you like to see Broya starting the next few games? And do you think that several of those usual suspects, your Mason Mounts, your Jorginhos, was a tactical change, or do you think it was more to give them a bit of a rest as we've got a busy schedule coming up? Let me know down there in the comments, and as always, make sure you do subscribe to the channel, smash up that like button as well, and switch on the notification bell. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, people, please make sure you do stay safe. Peace.